Or here, maybe is a better, but it's not really, I call this straight. Oh, is it? Hello, everyone. Have a very beautiful day. Oh, actually, been a long time that I've been actually doing this. I think zero. So let's talk flow and let's talk frequency. So, freedom of expression, that's where everything, oh Lord, I can't, where everything will have its place. And for some, I don't think they know what that means. So let me just express whatever that is for people. Oh, yeah, wait. Not too much in the middle. So, flow to itself is pretty easy if we allow this mind to shut off, right? Now, in terms of movement, because let's talk about movement and not per se, that was nasty. If we allow everything just to move and be the way it is, then flow can happen. If we don't allow things to happen the way it is, then what we have and what we get is actually interference. The mind to itself will interfere the flow of life. Let's call it life force. So life force, if you allow things to move, then life force can happen. With movement, with martial arts, with dance or whatever, if the mind is interfering, that means it cannot flow out. And if it can't flow out, that means there is interference. I'm going to use interference, I think, a lot in this talk. So, if you want just to express flow to itself, then the best thing to do is just allow things to move the way you want it to move, not per se how it looks like and how it should be and how other people might think. And if you do this within your own time frame or wherever you want to be, then you can allow energy just to move freely. And by doing so, you practice allowing yourself to express yourself to the fullest that you can. And that to itself is what flow is. Flow state is when you are just in full alignment with everything that is, and you're just expressing. That is where the highest flow state can be in. When I say highest, it means there's levels. Because yes, you have a level of flow that might not be like the best flow that you're in, right? So it's just I have my automatic programming. I wake up, I do this. That is also a flow, but it's when the mind is playing that flow, that means okay, my mind is saying I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that, and that, and then I do it. Now, the heart is saying, I'm just going to feel where I want to be. And after that, like I put my intention in where I want to be, and then just follow, just flow with it, move with it. Don't think about it. Don't allow things to be complicated because in the end, it's simple. Out of that simplicity, things can just happen. Things can just exist without trying to think what should be, how it should be, etc., etc. You can play with it by experiencing things as okay, so what would I love to experience in life, in movement? Can I reach this point with my feet or with my leg, right? So then you have this more childlike state of being. So you're going to go in discovery mode. Now, I can do this in many ways with kicking that way, back. Um, yeah, I think heel. That's gonna hurt. The heel's gonna hurt, right? And then you can also lower a little bit, but in this position, it's very difficult to move away from it. And this is how you can play with this this energy or this self-discovery within your own body. And then if you say, you know what, if I do this, and it's very hard to get out, but then you have to find out, okay, how can I get out in the fastest way? So this way is how you educate yourself in things that you could do after. So it's just a playful thing, a more a philosophy, and then eventually put it in practice, just like in life. You have the philosophy of life. It could be Stoicism, that could be Confucian, could be Plato, etc., etc. And then if you just be it or practice it, then you can become it, and then you can see what is working for me, what is not working for me. And that to itself is how I live my life, just to make sure what I say I can actually put into practice. It was nice, the movement, but it was unstable while I was doing it. So so I'm just gonna play a little bit while also talking to you guys. If someone is watching, I have no idea. I can't read from here. I can't see from here. So Bruce Lee, he has this quickness in himself, and I feel like for me, it's not about that is not the result. I feel the end is over here. So the start is over here and the end is over here. So this is just the middle for me. So if I understand that, that means I have to pull it back into the beginning. So this is how I get my speed, I think. Because if this is the result, but I still have to do this, that means beginning, end, and then beginning again, and an end. So just a mindset. Maybe that's something else, right? So in that way, you can use energy, like the energy is going from down up. That's kinetic energy, right? So you use the breath in, and then you go back. And at the same time, it would be very nice to go back, right? So, oh no, wait. That was not so nice. Say, maybe that way. I think that's the best way, right? Now, it's the same with kicking as well. If you have that, it means it goes way faster because you're just allowing energy just to move in, move out. Move in, move out, move in, move out. Just like a breath, move in, move out. Let's see, who's talking? It's Arab. Hi. Hi, Oppa. How you doing? Like in Arab, say Salam Alaikum. And the Dutch version is hello. So I'm just playing a little bit. And I'm seeing what can I do with my body. And what is nice for me to do. And how can I use this in practice also with life, because for me, martial arts is connected to life philosophy. Boundaries, for example. Boundary. No. 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 Hard no. And that is what no can be. Yes is allowing. So you're open. You're receiving. It's the same when someone is sparring with you. You're open to receive so that you can feel the energy coming. If you don't feel the energy coming and you're in masculine, that means you're trying to give and the other one is trying to give. So that will clash at one point. That's not bad, but I'm saying if you want to have a receptive energy, that means you have to receive the energy and see, where do I want to be? If it goes that way, that means you follow the energy. You're not blocking the energy, you follow the energy. So this is how we then dodge, how we have defense. Now, for attacking, that means you go forward. This is when the flow happens in terms of two people fighting, right? So if I'm the higher flow, that means I am directing the dance. It means I'm moving that person where I want him to be. And then it means I can checkmate him while he's in that point. And then I checkmate him. Now, when someone takes over that flow, that means he's going to break my flow. That means when he is trying to make me move a certain way, it means I will have to stop him in his dance, and then I break that flow. I then have to overtake his energy, for him to move with me again. But if that's not gonna happen, that means we have to fight each other until one energy is smaller, and then you can overtake. So either you play a rope-a-dope, you wait till he's tired and he can't lead anymore, and then you take over the lead. Then that's how you can break someone else's flow and move over, right? And take over. The same with life. That's, for example, you say there's a bully, and that bully just keeps smacking you with words and all of that. You avoid, you avoid, you avoid. You don't allow this negative energy to come in. Until at one point, there's nothing for him that can touch you anymore. And that means you're going over his energy. You're stepping out of his energy. You're overcoming his energy. That's the same with a fight. You don't allow his energy to hit you. You don't allow his energy to move you or to do whatever, but you can play with it. Make sure that you dodge the energy that's coming to you. Once you do that, then it's a waste of energy for him. Same with things in life, right? It can either affect you negatively or positive. And if you just play with life, flow with life, and you just allow yourself to move along, and you play, you interact, and all of that, then eventually it becomes something of an art form. And instead of making it all rigid and all, oh, I have to think too much about this, then I can't just move my hands. I can't move my ways of being, my talk, or my walk, where I communicate. Also, a little bit too much in my head. And then I can experience life as it is. It can be something beautiful. Like this, I don't think that will work in martial arts, but it's beautiful. You can with someone who doesn't know martial arts. You go from here to the throat, to the belly, however you want it, or up. So it's all these movements that we have to learn in order for us to feel more safe in our body, also in terms of interacting with someone else, with a man or with someone that is dangerous or whatever. Because now you have a little bit more control over your body and knowing what can I do to move away? What can I do to knock him out? What can I do to keep distance? What can I do if he does this, and this? So if you have all these actions and understanding of how you can move out a certain dangerous position, it means you will feel safer in dangerous situations. And that's the same with if we are anxious about something, having a conversation with someone. If you know how to communicate well, then you know how to get out of situations or have a beautiful talk with that person instead of being anxious of what to say. So the best way to resolve that is to learn how to communicate yourself about yourself and what you want, what you long for, what your dreams are, etc., etc. Then you know how to use this mouth. Once you know how to use the mouth correctly in connection with the mind and the heart, then that's in alignment with each other without needing to think, without needing to do, how do you say this? That you need 3 stages in order for you to speak. And now it can be just one flow instead of 1, 2, 3. And that's the same with movement. Like if I have to think where I need to be, then every time there's 3 stages, the body, mind, and soul. But if everything is moving according to the body, mind, and soul in one go, in one flow, then it's instantaneously. So now, if I reflect back to myself, like instantaneously, that took me quite some time to get there. So I had to feel and think a little bit for me to express that word in one flow. And the more I repeat it, the more it will be instantaneously. And I still do it wrong because I didn't use that word too much. So if I do it 1,000 more times, then eventually it will roll out of my tongue as natural as it can be. So same with my kicks. I think Bruce Lee said this the most beautiful way, is that be afraid of the one that practice a punch 1,000 times and not different kicks or punches 1,000 times. I probably butchered that one, but hey, I think you catch my point somewhere. So now, kinetic energy. So if I say my energy point is over here, and I allow this energy to move me. I think this is what we do with Qigong and Tai Chi and even Aikido, right? So that is the energy flow. In that energy flow, you follow the leader, the energy, right? So if I follow that, that means everything with my body will have to move with that. So I go this way, body moves. That way, body moves. This way, body moves. That way, body moves. So it's all the thing that you will have to follow is actually your soul. Your soul is the director of the body. So if I move that way, it means my whole body has to move, not just a small bit. We tend to just use a bit of our body because we feel not fully expressive in how we want to express ourselves. So full body motion is full expression. For me, that was not fully yet, right? So if I do this, that's fully to me. And now I've done this. So I remember this. My body remembers this. If I do 1,000 more times, then I am it. I'm no longer just practicing it, I'm just the master of it. Now, for that to happen, you can also see, okay, what is still not correct in my posture? Because you will have to feel what doesn't feel right. Does it feel blocked? Does it feel uncomfortable? And then you have to readjust. Also in life, readjust in the things that you do bad or the things that you're not good at. Otherwise, you will have to repeat the same cycle over and over and over again, and that might end up creating a very loop of suffering constantly. So we have to readjust in life until we find the right. We call this the golden ratio. That is the line of creation, the perfect creation. And that is how the universe or this existed from perfection. Okay, that was maybe a little bit too deep. So to go back into the line of perfection or the line of how it feels correct, and this is how martial arts starts, right? It's an art form to see, okay, what is the line of that art form? What is the drawing that I'm creating that feels perfect? So if I am a brush, what is that brush and how will it actually exist or being created by me, the soul? So my body to itself is the art form. And and then what is it that I'm doing actually? So this might be the throw, right? So no, this is probably the side then. But why am I punching here? Maybe in the ribs. But then I have to have a solid tick. But that's only possible if I'm close, right? So if I'm already here. And these ways of thinking is making me very happy from the inside because now I'm like, oh, I'm very childlike. I'm like, oh yeah, I can experience that. I can do that. I can do that. So it's also posture at the same time, but learning more of our body is beautiful. And I don't know, it just feels like I'm more attached to my body, I'm more connected to my body if I just allow everything to be instead of just fractions of myself expressing a little bit of this and that. And I've been doing this for, I think, about 7 or longer years to see what are we capable of, what is this body capable of. And the more I practice, whatever that is, practice my body as best as I can, that means my body will stay in a vibrational frequency or in a physical form that can express that way. I don't feel like our body is getting, how you say this, I feel I can still be at the highest form as I can be, as long as I don't think in impossibilities, as long as if I don't think that I'm too old, to this, to that, to that, to that, to that. So this mind is already telling me, this body already thinks that, oh yeah, I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. So if I open up for all possibilities to be, like with movement, then it can truly happen if I want to. It might take some time, a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, doesn't matter. But in the end, we can create a body that we truly want. And we just have to take care of it. It's our temple, right? We have to make sure that we understand how to take care of that body and what it is to express ourselves in such a way that is from that flow and not from the mind that creates a lot of impossibilities in ourselves. Hmm. What can I do from here? That's taking way too long. There was this kick. It's freaking weird what that guy was doing. He was like this. Oh, that's a weird kick. So this is this double tap that I was doing. I think it was. Okay, that's it. I think that's it for my flow for now. I'm gonna go for a walk. Aye. Yeah. So let's say we experience life the way that we want to experience life, right? We enter this place where everything is possible. That's the mindset saying everything is possible. That to itself will release these instead of limited versions of you that you can't fully express yourself anymore because it's a limited framework that you put yourself in. So if you say, I can't do this, I can't do that, you already box yourself in things that you might can still experience. So if I say I can't dance, boxed in. Already told yourself I can't. Now, if I say I can dance, I remove that blockage and now I can experience that. My body can experience that. Even if I make a mistake, because this idea that I can't dance is still there. So I'm still mindful of that I can't, because you already told yourself you can't. If I can reach that from here, for example, that means I think in possibilities that I can't reach that point in a very fast way. Now we can, but what is the fastest way, right? So there's the energy has to go that way. So it's more of a sliding thing, and it's damn it, this thing is not so good anymore. It's more of a hop. Energy goes in, so energy goes in, and it goes that way. So direction is that way. So you have to go with that energy. Don't stop, because the energy to itself is where it wants to be. So you have to make a full motion of it. And the same with our voice. Make a full motion of your voice. Make a full motion of your emotions. Make a full motion of that body of yours. That's the energy, life force. So if I'm gonna let go of this thing. So if I say I want to be over there or over there, it means I can go different ways over here, over there, also different way. Slide, I could go in. But if you use your body that way to get to the places where you need to be, like it's not per se functional in a fight, but it's functional for you to get to a point in more of an art form. You're just allowing your body to move to points so that you can remember what it is to do all of that. And once you remember how to do all of that, it means to itself you can just be more free in your expression. If you want to be there, you can go over there. If you want to go over there, you can go over there. In life, it's the same thing. If you have multiple pathways that you feel you want to go, you have to experience here. You have to experience over here. You have to experience over here. And if you know how to experience that thing that you want to experience over there, it becomes easier. Just like with me learning how to punch, learning how to kick. Eventually, I know how to, and then you can expand. Out of that expansion comes something new. In that newness, you will find a path that is very unknowing. So then you have to experience again what it is to become this version of you. And once you are in that expansion and you become that version of you, now you own it, because you're it. You are the I am to whatever that is. You're becoming the answer of the unknown. You have shed light in the darkness to become that version of you that is no longer in the dark of whatever information, whatever that is that you have to explore inside of you or outside of you. And this is the same with our consciousness, is that subconscious behavior is the unknown. Until we make it known, so become conscious of the unknown, it's a step in places so that the unknown, the subconscious, can come forward. Then you become conscious of it. Once you are conscious of it, you can change it. And then you can reprogram yourself to become a version of you that you truly want. It is. It is. Children have that, and they do it effortlessly because they don't think about it. They just do, they fall, they stand back up, and they're like, I will have to do it again. And then they're like, shit, how do I stand? How do I stand? And at one point, like, oh yeah, this is the place. This is where I can stand. And then, see, that's when they found out that that is the equilibrium of how they can stand upwards. Now, it's the same with us. Do we know how to truly stand? Or did we copy someone else and saying, okay, this is it. This is all I can do. But we can do more. We're still evolving. We're still becoming better versions of us. And no, you don't always have to do so. That's your choice as a human being to not grow, to grow, and that's it. There's tall trees, there's smaller trees. The taller tree will reach higher, and the smaller tree will reach as far as it can, because it wants to maybe, or that it's not capable. It is capable, but maybe it doesn't want to. So that's, the choice of a human being, free will. And for me, where peace actually happens, true peace, is where I could just be in peace with who I am now. Because then I don't need to seek, I don't need to become, I don't need to do anything else. But by experiencing life to itself, I can become. So it's in a peaceful state of being with myself to still grow instead of seeking more and more and more and more and more and feeling empty in that more. And that's where true realization happens, is to find yourself within yourself. And it's the same with martial arts, it's the same with movement, is that what is my movement? Now, what is someone else's movement? I can copy that movement, but I still have to make it mine. If I make it mine, then it becomes me. But if I don't make it mine, then it's still a philosophy, it's still a theory. The same with answers, the same with philosophies, the same with religion, the same with every sacred text or book that we have. It's information until you become it. Once you become it, you're the proof to itself that that scripture, that text, that guidebook, or whatever it is that you're learning is in harmony, is what you can actually experience in life, and that you know it's working. And for everyone, I think it's just a unique experience. Like my answers might not even work for you. You might need different answers in a different layer, but for me, it's the same. That's my perception of reality, right? I think everything is the same in a different layer. It has a higher understanding of something, and that to me is, a philosophy to itself. And that philosophy for me is where I think in energy, I think in levels of consciousness that can also be interpreted as hell and heaven. That could also be lies to a higher truth. And then the truth is there in heaven. And for me, that's my perception. That's how I see things. That's how I observe things in life, also within people. So I can understand where they are, in the deepness that they are, without judging of how they should be and how they need to be. That to me gives myself peace as well, because I was at a point in life where I thought, you know what, I want to create a better world, and that created a lot of judgment. Because at one point I was like, oh, but this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong, and I felt so overloaded with thoughts again that I figured out, oh yeah, wait, they are exactly where they need to be in their time frame, in their lesson, for them to understand where they are in life. And some people don't need to understand. Some people want to stay blind, or not blind. They want to stay in the place where they want to be. And maybe that's also where they need to be in life for this life, maybe. You can go on, I can go on and on about that, but let's go back into flow. I understood that if I can allow myself to be really free in my expression, I can unlayer more of this idea of myself. And the more I do so, the more authentic I will be to myself. And if I then say, or if I'm afraid of expressing more of myself, because I think that maybe someone might feel bad about the things that I say, then that's also stopping me. Maybe that's also a chance for me, the invitation for me to start saying, okay, how do I say this in a more loving, compassionate way so that people don't feel attacked with the words that I say? Like duality is that version, right? Duality is saying, you're doing this bad, you're doing that bad, this could do better, this could be better, and all of that. But you can also change it in a way where you say, okay, I see what you're doing. There's different ways of doing these things. So it's more gentle, it's more open, it's more without projection, without the duality form. But we can create we can. In order for that to happen, you will have to be that. Otherwise, there is no bridge, there is no example. The example can only be if you see both sides, you can learn from both sides. There is no division. Because if you see both sides of the coin, you understand why they are doing those things. If you only see one side of the coin, you might become an enemy, or you might create an enemy of the other side. Because now you are one party that something is being done to, or you're the one doing something to someone else. So this is what division is. Unity, God is unity. And if you're divided, that means you're no longer in unity, no longer in peace. And that to me is what duality is. Duality is two sides of the coins. And the paradox is, I think, where non duality is. Because the paradox in all things is everything is necessary for us to learn about something. Without the other party, without the other side, there's nothing to learn and there's no experience. So that's why duality is whatever it is. It is just that some people get or step out of that duality, but still see it and still experience it. But it doesn't affect them as much as they used to do because now they can observe both sides. They could stay still. That's not good the way it is because you already learned from yourself that the way that they do it is from pain, is from ego, is from suffering, is from a place of division, is a place of, I would say, separation of the divine, of God, how you want to label it. Al Gore that said, once you divide existence, that's very true. And it's the same with relationships. If you hate or if you are angry at a person in your life when you break up, that means you already created division and you're not fully whole again. And in order for that to happen, you have forgiveness. Forgiveness to yourself, forgiveness to the other. Because most of the times it's forgiveness to ourselves because we are allowing it to happen. And because we learn that lesson now, we could also understand that person did not know how to love. So forgive them for what they don't know and move on and learn from it. Yes, because in the end, it's about your relationship with the divine, with God. And everyone has their own beautiful relationship with him, her, all that is. And they could say they don't believe, and that's fine too, because in the end, if they're good people, they're good people. If they act good, they're good. If they do bad, they do bad. Like we don't have to label anything. We just have to make sure that we are good human beings or not, that's also perception, right? Because some people think they're good while we think they're bad. So it has so many different layers. It's just that if we keep hurting each other, we're gonna break each other, we're gonna destroy each other. If we help each other, if we support each other, if you unite together, then we're growing, we're abundant. And that's the pain that we feel now, that we need to feel now in order for us to rise, to transcend, to evolve from the pains that we feel now. Because the pain to itself is just an indicator that something is wrong in our lives. And that's trauma, that's lessons, and all of these things that we need to understand in life in order for us to transcend all of that. Yeah, and that comes with pain, that comes with experience. Because that experience to itself, when you get hurt, you're like, nah, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that way, and I don't want to hurt someone else in that way. And then you know why moral codes are there, so that we don't reenact or repeat the same cycle over and over again. This is what the Buddha called samsara, is karma. Is that if we repeat the same pain over and over with each other, it means nothing can change. Everything will stay the same way. Until someone breaks that loop, someone decides, you know what, I will never do that to someone else ever again. So I won't do that ever to myself ever again. And once we understand that there is an answer that can break that loop, because people don't know, you have to bring it to the knowing, like we said before, like I talked about before. That knowing has to become knowing for others to see. And for others to see that knowing, it means that you will have to become that knowing. You will have to be that knowing. Like we can talk about scripture all day long, but if scripture is not being lived by, then there's nothing for us to see. There might be just an illusion, a lie, because we can talk about good things, but then we do bad things. That is to me is not being the example. That's rejecting. Eventually, I will reject the person. I might even reject scripture. I might even reject the people, the religion, the belief, the philosophy, because people are practicing, not practicing it, because if they did, they were it. And that to me is also where we are with the world. So we have philosophies, we have theories about capitalism, communism, etc., etc. If that to itself is not being lived by, then it will fall down, it will crash. Communism sounds very great, and it could be very great with the right leaders, maybe. Capitalism could be very great with the right leaders. I think every single philosophy, maybe, don't get me twisted by this one. But if there is a philosophy that is in connection with human beings and with nature, and that serves for creation, for our planet, for ourselves, for our brothers and sisters, that can provide goodness, abundance, peace, unity, harmony, etc., and we follow and we are that, then the world can shift to a better place. If we just speak about it, then it's just energy, it's just information, it's not being yet. So nothing can become it. So the more people become all of that, the energy, then the world to itself can shift into a new world, a peaceful world, more in unity. And if everyone were to just put in the extra effort to become it, then we don't need all of these wars to happen. Because I feel the collective energy that is all of us in this planet will have to change. And if they change everywhere, that means that energy, that frequency can take over. If we don't, then it stays the same way, samsara, same loop, etc., etc. And then we repeat the cycle over and over. And this is what we called First World War, Second World War, Third World War, and then explosion. We start over and do the same thing over and over and over again until we learn from it, and then we stop. Hopefully, right? We don't want it to explode. We want something inside of us to implode and say, you know what, I'm done with this, let's say, bullshit. I'm done with this loop. I'm done with destroying myself and someone else at the same time. And that is when we truly, truly, truly learned our lesson. Because it has to be in such a way that there is a solid no of never ever again. And then hopefully that 1,000 year of peace will happen, the golden age of humankind and utopia and paradise can happen, and everyone will just. That's my dream. That's my dream. I hope so. I truly hope so. Otherwise, yeah. What can I do? What can I do? I think I'm gonna go for a walk. Ooh, we're stuck. So we're building a yurt. The yurt is almost done, and I'll be probably moving out this community. By the way, going to another community in life and seeing if we can build example somewhere. And this is where I feel where we can actually do something about life, about the things that we do now. It's just to build, just build paradise already. Stop waging war, stop fighting each other, stop creating divisions, stop blaming and pointing. Just stop, and then we just start creating. I think that's the best way, right? Is there too much wind? If there's too much wind, just let me know. Then I'll go back somewhere else. And I think this is where we can create a new world, right? This is where the new world can exist. Is by following, by being an example. If you say, okay, if we keep fighting, then I need to stop fighting. Ah, there's too much wind. No wind? Ah, small round, small round, small round. Yeah, I can hear wind over here, so that's why it's weird for me. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I've been maybe I can share this with you. Maybe you can give me a beautiful reflection, right? So I've been on this journey for 2 months now with YouTube, TikTok, Instagram a little bit longer. But I never had the intention to grow or to do something with it as big as I am now. And I've been very in a roller coaster in where I feel like, am I going the right way? What am I doing? What should I be doing? And not per se that there is doubt, but maybe I was trying to adapt too much to cater other people. But I've let go of that, so I feel less anxious about that. Hey, wow. So I'm in this flow. It's not pushing me too much. I don't feel my body is, I really got stressed out a little bit before because I was like, I have to put everything out in like every day, 5 videos, maybe more. And I was in this energy that was constantly pushing. But I also felt that my body was really rejecting it a little bit. And now I'm just allowing this flow to happen wherever I go, one video or not. Doesn't really matter, I go live. And that gave me more peace. I think that's the same with life as well. It gives me more peace if I don't force myself in doing things what I have to do constantly. Like being a very bad dad to myself, saying, hey, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. And at one point, like, do I really want to do so? And that's where you rebel, right? I think that's the same with, I wouldn't say God. At one point, you're like, oh yeah, so this is good. I should be doing this. And then you rebel a little bit to yourself. You're like, maybe I just do it one more time, this, one more time, that. But then, oh, thank you very much, Jopan. I think that's also sometimes what I need to hear, but also probably to myself. But it's good to have that coming from someone else, right? Because that gives me an extra boost to keep doing what I do. And that's also with us in life. It's what we can enjoy from each other. It's when we can motivate each other to become the better versions of us. And to really share our life together, to really say, you know what, I have this project. I would love to create that. What can we do together to start creating that? And this is where we as humanity can unite as one, where we just have a platform like YouTube or TikTok or whatever, and overload it with positive messages and positive videos about life and about the world instead of the negativity that sometimes takes over. Maybe that's our algorithm, right? It's our conscious algorithm that we have is saying, okay, I'm accustomed to draw my algorithm to frequencies that no longer serves me actually because it just creates a vibrational frequency where you feel this way until you decide, you know what, I can flip it. I have to stop looking at things so that my algorithm starts changing in a more positive way. So that when I go on my feed, when I go on my socials, is that I see positive things. I see positive people creating positive things in life and dreams. And that to itself is how we can change the world. It starts with us in how we do things. Then eventually we move on. And we move on until the world to itself is of a higher frequency. Huh. So I think what I'm gonna do in a bit, I'm gonna take a break. And then I'll be back in, I think maybe half an hour, an hour. For now, I'm just gonna chill. I have not much to say anymore, so that's gonna be my walk for now. Yeah, maybe I can talk about that. So there's this new world, right, that we can tap in, and I think it's a lot about frequencies. It's a lot about frequencies and how to change our perception of our reality and upgrading our mindset, or not per se mindset. Let's say programming. Let's say the understanding of the world to itself. And the more we let go of the negative connections to the old way of thinking, the old conditions that keeps us in a lower frequency, it means we have to update it. We have to change our language, not in a forceful way, but really in a more conscious way. So the more you consciously choose to change your ways of saying things, because that to itself will raise your own frequency to a higher frequency, especially when you use negative ways of saying things, you can create positive things, positive words, positive thoughts. If we have stories on this planet that creates a very low frequency vibration where it's fully connected to fear, then maybe it's time for us to let go of that story. Maybe we should create a new story, a story that is positive, that is beautiful. And I think this is where we can change everything around us. Oh, yeah. Bye bye, everyone. Thank you for watching, and thank you for liking the video. Thank you for this little talk we have, Joppa. And